As a kid, all a nigga wanna have was a Burberry scarf and $3 in my pocket. Instead I got beat with a switch, but I don't give a fuck, but it's on my body. Scars all up on me, but I run around from everybody. Life lesson learned, I better learn from this bitch, nobody. She pushed me around, she didn't give no motherfucks about it. She broke my heart 3 times, but I ain't getting...
The Buffalo Bills are going to be taking on the Arizona Cardinals. And they're going to be fresh off a win against the Seattle Seahawks, which they defeated the Seattle Seahawks last week, 44-34. Now, this is my game of the week. This is a really intriguing game. You have two MVP candidates. You have Kyler Murray versus Josh Allen. Now, Kyler Murray this season has been exceptional. He has thrown for 2,130 passing yards, 16 touchdowns to 7 interceptions while completing 68.1% of his passes. He also leads the Arizona Cardinals in rushing yards with 543 and 8 rushing touchdowns. Meanwhile, you have Josh Allen, who, aka people are giving him the nickname Air Allen, 2,587 passing yards, 19 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, and is completing 68.9% of his passes, and he has 5 rushing touchdowns on the year. Let's talk about Josh Allen real quick. So last year, he balled out against the Seattle Seahawks. He had over 400 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He torched Seattle last week, and his grandmother unfortunately passed away, and the Buffalo Bills fan base donated over $300,000 to the hospital in support of his grandmother. And we have to give a round of applause to the Buffalo Bills fan base, Bills Mafia. The Buffalo Bills have to have one of the most underrated fan bases in all of the NFL. When we talk about some of the best fan bases in the NFL, we already know about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Of course, we got to talk about the delusional Dallas Cowboy fans, but Buffalo has a really underrated group of fans. And Buffalo doesn't really get a lot of credit for how great of a fan base they have because they don't really get a lot of national coverage from the media. But me personally, I was a little bit shocked about how big the Buffalo Bills fan base was because when I made the video about why the Buffalo Bills would be the biggest sleeper team in 2019 last year, that video blew up. It's actually one of my highest viewed videos on my channel. And I was really surprised that video did so well. And I was surprised about how many Buffalo Bills fans there actually were. Like last year, I was really high on the Buffalo Bills. So, of course, with me talking so much positivity about the Buffalo Bills fans were going to find out. And they were going to find out about the videos. And I just saw a lot of Buffalo Bills fans on the channel over the last 2 years. And Buffalo Bills fans have actually shown me more support than pretty much any other fan base on YouTube. So, shout out to Bills Mafia out there. You guys are one of the most underrated and one of the most underappreciated fan bases in the NFL. Now you have Arizona. Arizona was defeated by the Miami Dolphins, led by rookie quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, 34-31. Now I think the biggest deciding factor in determining who's going to win this game is going to be who is going to win the turnover battle. And I know I talk about the turnover battle every single week in almost every single video that I make. But in a game like this, when you have two teams that have two high-powered offenses, the turnover battle really matters. Because when you're in a high-scoring game and neither defense can get a stop and the offenses are clicking on all cylinders, turnovers are going to be a major part in deciding who can win a shootout because 1 or 2 turnovers can decide a game. Okay? If a team turns the football over one time, that could lead to another team taking that turnover and turn it into a touchdown or maybe 3 points. So turnovers really matter in a high-scoring affair. And turnovers really matter in football in general. The majority of the time, the team that wins the turnover battle wins the game around 60 to 70% of the time. So for the team, whoever has the most turnovers in this game and wins that turnover battle, I think it's going to have a really good shot at winning this game. The next question for the Buffalo Bills is going to be, can Buffalo continue to get pressure on the quarterback? Now, Buffalo had 5 sacks against Seattle last week, which was really impressive because it's really hard to bring Russell Wilson down to the ground. I know Seattle doesn't have the best offensive line, But it's really hard to bring Russell Wilson down because how elusive he is. He's like a magician back there. When you think you got him down, he's breaking out of tackles. He's doing all kinds of stuff. It's really hard to get Russell Wilson down. And the fact that Buffalo was able to get 5 sacks is really impressive because over the last couple of weeks, I have voiced my concern about how good the Buffalo Bills are up front. Haven't really seen a lot of the talent that Buffalo spent so much in the offseason bringing in to improve this defensive line. Haven't really saw it so far this season. Well, I saw it last week in Seattle. I was really impressed. Also, will the Buffalo Bills offensive line be able to rebound? Now, Buffalo's defensive line played fairly well. Well, great, actually. But the offensive line struggled last week in Seattle. They gave up 7 sacks, which really concerns me. Okay, your defensive line is finally playing good, finally playing up to the level of expectation, but your offensive line gave us 7 sacks to Seattle. And what's really concerning about that is that Seattle is one of the worst teams in the NFL when it comes to getting pressure on the quarterback. I don't care what the stats show you. Like, the stats say Seattle's like, around top 15, somewhere around that range in sacks per game. That's wrong. I think their stats got inflated from that game last week when they had 7 sacks against Buffalo. Seattle hasn't really been all that great this year when it comes to getting pressure on the quarterback. Hence the reason why they went out and traded for Carlos Dunlap in that trade with the Cincinnati Bengals. So the fact that you allow 7 sacks against Seattle really concerns me. And also, the offensive line hasn't really been great in the run blocking department, which is another thing. So for Buffalo, how's his offensive line going to perform against the Arizona Cardinals? And the last thing, if you're Buffalo, how are you going to contain Kyler Murray? You cannot allow Kyler Murray to dictate the game. Kyler Murray has the ability that he can completely just take over a game and dominate. Okay, if you keep him inside the pocket, he can beat you inside the pocket. If you allow him to scramble outside the pocket, I believe that's where Kyler Murray is at his best. When he's making plays outside the pocket, when he's running with the football, when he's throwing outside the pocket on the run, that's where Kyler Murray thrives at the best. Now, he's good throwing in the pocket as well. Don't get me wrong about that. Not trying to disrespect him, but I think that Kyler Murray is at his best when he's making plays outside of the pocket. So if you're Buffalo, you need to keep him inside the pocket, force him to beat you inside the pocket versus him beating you outside the pocket, because when he gets outside the pocket, he is a guy who can single-handedly take over a game. He can frustrate a lot of defenses, and we've seen it so far this year of Arizona. Like, every game that Arizona has won, Kyler Murray has taken over. And for Arizona, they need to take the big plays away from Buffalo. Buffalo is averaging 7.8 yards per pass, which is 5th in the NFL. And the Cardinals allow 6.5 yards per pass on defense, which is 12th in the NFL. So I want to see if Arizona's defense is going to be able to take away the big playability of Josh Allen and this passing attack for the Buffalo Bills. Because we know the new nickname for Josh Allen is Air Allen, or AKA Air Raid Allen, because Buffalo pretty much has had an air raid attack this year since they don't really put a lot of emphasis on running the football. And you got to worry about Stephon Diggs. You got to worry about John Brown. John Brown is listed on the injury report once again as questionable, but I think he should be okay to go in this game, hopefully. So for the Cardinals, you got to be able to limit the big plays in the passing game for Buffalo. Now, will Buffalo be able to score in the red zone? Now, this offense has been really good. But the two weaknesses, or the two struggles that Buffalo has had all this year on offense, has been their lack of ability to run the football and their lack of ability to score in the red zone. Now, over the last 3 games, Buffalo has had a 43% percentage in the red zone when it comes to scoring touchdowns, which isn't all that great. Now, Arizona has the 3rd best red zone defense in the NFL. So when I look at Buffalo over the last couple of games, over the last 3 games, they have struggled to score touchdowns in the red zone. And you're going to be facing the Arizona Cardinals team that has one of the best red zone defenses in the NFL. And when you're going to be in a shootout, in a game that's pretty much going to have a lot of points being scored on the scoreboard, field goals and touchdowns are going to be the big deciding factor in who wins and who loses, because you go inside the red zone and you end up coming away with 3 points instead of a touchdown, that could be really huge. And the last thing is, Arizona has the 8th best second half offense in the NFL. Over the last 3 games, they have averaged 16 points in the second half of games, which is really big. So if you're Buffalo, you got to be able to contain Arizona's offense in the second half. So the team I'm going to take to win this game, I am going to take the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills beat Seattle last week, and I think they're going to be able to continue their hot streak on the road in Arizona. Now, Arizona is a really good team, but I'm going to have to take Buffalo because I think Buffalo has a lot of momentum right now. I know their win last week against Seattle was kind of emotional, but I think Buffalo is now coming around. They're showing everybody that they are legitimately a dark horse Super Bowl contender. And I think Arizona is really good. I think Arizona has a chance to win this game as well. I just think that the Buffalo Bills are the better team than the Arizona Cardinals right now, which is why I'm going to take Buffalo to win this game. 38-34 is my final score prediction. I'm taking Buffalo with the victory.